What's going on, guys? Andrew Piluk Hockey here, back with another video, and today I'm going to be reviewing the Leafs' 5-0 victory over the Pittsburgh Penguins. Now, this matchup was highly anticipated because, of course, with Austin Matthews out, everybody was looking at the Leafs' zeros that they have been putting up in certain periods, haven't been able to score, and of course they're facing one of the best teams in the league and champions in the Pittsburgh Penguins. Of course, not last year, but they've been champions, back to back before. They're a great team, and they've got Phil Kessel, Evgeny Malkin, and this guy named Sidney Crosby. I'm sure you guys have heard of him, and that's a joke, by the way. I hope people really don't take that seriously, but the Leafs had to show up tonight, and for them to get a 5-0 victory was just unreal. I really was not expecting them to play this good after some of the poor play they've had. It looked like the Leafs were a little bit down on themselves, but it's good. They picked themselves back up. They learned to score some more goals, even without Austin Matthews and William Nylander, of course, not in the lineup. So this was just a good game. So like I always do, we'll start with the goalie stats. It was Freddie Anderson versus Matt Murray. Oh my god, I was going to say Casey DeSmith there for a second. He did come in very briefly, but the loss goes to Matt Murray. Now, for some reason, in my box score, they've got it all messed up, and they've got DeSmith as the losing goaltender. Regardless, DeSmith made both saves that he was in for, the two shots. Murray was actually, had 31 shots against and had 26 saves, whereas Frederik Andersen had 31 shots against and 31 saves for the shutout. Good for Freddie. That was very awesome. Who has him in the hockey YouTubers hockey pool? I'm not sure who has him, but that'll be some good points. Anyways, this was just a good game to watch. The Leafs have, of course, like I mentioned, had some rough games where they couldn't score some goals in certain periods, and then they had to climb back late to try to win games. And that's not how they want to do things. They want to have nights like tonight where they just put up a ton of shots and help Freddie as much as possible. Even though he did have 31 shots against tonight, he was pretty solid for them. Anyways, we'll go to the first period, and a lot of people were mentioning that John Tavares hasn't scored that much, even though he's been producing pretty well in my eyes. I mean, he just scored his 8th of the season in this one, and a lot of players don't have 8 goals this year. I know he's getting paid a lot of money, but he's going to do that a lot more often as the season goes on. Assisted by Marner and Ron Hainsey. It was a nice tip after a good play by Mitch Marner, and that's how the first period ended. In the second period, Patrick Marleau also grabbed one. That was really good for him to see, or good to see from him, his 3rd of the season. And Marleau, the thing is, I like Marleau, and this was a nice goal, by the way, but he needs to pick it up here now. He needs to score some more goals for this team, and that's not to knock him, but everybody's got to pick it up. It's not just him. Everybody's got to pick it up, and tonight he buried one as well off a nice feed from Kapanen, and that one was also assisted by Kadri. And then Morgan Rielly, his 5th of the season, assisted by Tavares and Kapanen. The Marleau goal was like 44 seconds into the period, and I believe the goal here, it says 11 minutes and 49 seconds into the second period. So the Leafs stretched their goals apart. There were some good chances for both sides. I feel like that second period was pretty wild. There were some power plays as well in this game for both sides, and some good rushes from both penalty kills. I believe they both did some decent jobs. There were some 2-on-1s. The Leafs looked pretty good on the penalty kill tonight. They killed every penalty, of course. I believe it was 4 or 5, maybe 5, because I think at the end there, the Connor Brown one. So I think they killed 5 penalties tonight. They looked pretty good. And yeah, I think it was solid for them in that second period to kill some penalties. But again, a 3-0 lead is great, but you're always looking for more offense, especially when you're playing a team like Pittsburgh. So in the third period, Morgan Rielly scored again on the power play. It was kind of deflected, then it went off the boards, came out to him. He buried it on the power play. That was assisted by Marner and Gardner, and that was about 15 minutes into the third period. I was really impressed tonight with Morgan Rielly. Again, the guy scores, what was it? Yeah, his 6th of the season, and that matched his goal output, I believe, from last season. And I believe I read a stat, I can't remember who it was from, that he is the most productive, one of the most productive defensemen through 14 games in the last decade or something like that. And I believe the list had guys like Nick Lindstrom. It was like 10 or 15 years, I can't remember. But Thomas Kaberle was actually one of the best starts to a season in the last decade or last 15 years. And it was like through 14 games. And I believe Caberlet was first with like 16 points or 18, I can't remember. But it was still cool, and he's tied with him, I believe. So that's pretty cool. And then short-handed at the end of the game. Zach Hyman and Kapanen were going in on a 2-on-1. Hyman shot it and it went off of a Pittsburgh defender and into the back of the net. Lucky for him, there was 20 seconds left in the game, and Hyman has been getting some bad luck lately. Wow, I thought that he had another goal. That was his first of the season. I couldn't remember if he had scored already this year, but that's weird. I'm not sure if that's incorrect, but Hyman's looked pretty decent through some games this year. He's played very well with Tavares and Mitch Marner, so good for him for scoring. And again, shorthanded, he's just so good. He plays everywhere, and for the people that don't like him, I'm not sure what you're watching because I really do like him. And of course, Freddie, like I mentioned, 31 saves for the shutout. So Tavares had 2 points tonight. Some guys getting some goals like Marlowe and Hyman getting back into it. Tavares burying, like I mentioned, getting off the hook for some media coming at him. Riley with a solid game, one of the most productive defensemen through 14 games in the last 10 to 15 years. Very good to be on the list with guys like Lindstrom and Caberlet and stuff like that. And of course the Bobby Orr stuff through the first couple games of the season where we've seen him and Matthews breaking records like crazy. Matthews and Nylander, we're going to knock on wood. We need these guys to come back soon. I know Matthews is going to take a while, and it's seeming like Nylander might take a while too, and Carolina seems to be all in on him apparently. If he becomes available, we're going to knock on wood again because I want Nylander to stay. I know a lot of people don't agree with that, but I want him to stay. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video and the game. 5-0 Leafs. If you're new, make sure you subscribe. Love to have more hockey conversations with you. Join the squad. Let's get to 4,000 subscribers. Hopefully you guys like that new ticker that's on the videos that shows where you can get some cool stuff, some t-shirts. You can save $20 from SeatGeek as well if you use code APH in all caps. Make sure you check all that out. Links are down below as well for social media, all that cool stuff. Let me know for some video ideas in the description. I always say that, in the comment section down below. I've talked a lot. I'll see you guys in the next video or stream. Peace.